Chapter 1763. An absolute sacred weapon is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He realized that there was a crack in his battle sword. A supreme sacred weapon was indeed no match for an absolute sacred weapon. Wan Tianbing was invigorated after suppressing Lu Ming with one strike. He appeared in front of Lu Ming in the blink of an eye and chopped down with his battle axe again. Clang. This time, Lu Ming was also sent flying. There was even a crack on his battle sword. Kill Lu Ming. Wan Tianbing, kill him in one go. A young man from the Wan family shouted. An old man said coldly. Kill. Wan Tianbing's morale was high. His battle axe was like a storm as he chopped down at Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his hand. Two sacred weapon shields flew out and blocked in front of him. Bang, bang. The battle axe chopped down and the two sacred weapon shields were split in half. Sacred weapons were as fragile as tofu in front of an absolute sacred weapon. Clang, clang. Lu Ming was knocked back by two consecutive moves. Wan Tianbing, with your cultivation, your body won't last long if you seal an absolute sacred weapon and use it. You'll suffer a backlash. Lu Ming said. His voice was still very calm. It's enough to kill you. Wan Tianbing roared and attacked wildly. Indeed, he could not afford to waste any more time. Just like what Lu Ming had said, he could feel the terrifying pressure. The powerful aura of the battle soldier was tearing his body apart at every moment. A layer of fine blood beads had already seeped out of his skin. He had to get rid of Lu Ming as soon as possible. Is that so? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Then, his forehead glowed and a Tai Chi array disc appeared. Go. Lu Ming waved his hand. The Tai Chi array disc shone brightly. A Tai Chi pattern flowed on its surface and suppressed Wan Tianbing. Clang. Wan Tianbing's axe heavily struck the Tai Chi disc. The Tai Chi disc shone even more resplendently. It shook violently and was sent flying back. However, there was not a single mark on the Tai Chi disc. How could this be? Wan Tianbing's eyes widened in disbelief. What kind of treasure was Lu Ming's? It could even block a holy weapon, and it didn't even leave a scratch on it. Then he charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming took out the Tai Chi array disc to block the attacks. Although the Tai Chi array disc would be sent flying every time, it managed to block Wan Tianbing's attacks and he was not injured at all. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. The Tai Chi array disc was most likely an emperor-level treasure. It was just that Lu Ming was still unable to unleash its full power. Break for me! Wan Tianbing roared as he crazily slashed at Lu Ming. However, every time he was blocked by the Tai Chi array disc. The Wan family members' faces darkened. Lu Ming is truly outstanding. He has mastered the law of primal chaos. He is undoubtedly the son of primal chaos. An old woman from Phoenix Palace exclaimed, her eyes filled with admiration. The son of primal chaos is known as one of the sons of primal chaos. He has great providence and his talent is heaven-defying. Since ancient times, any son of primal chaos who has mastered the 10 strongest laws would have unimaginable achievements as long as they didn't die. This child is very close to Huang Ling. Since that's the case, our Phoenix Palace can only befriend him and not offend him. If he matures in the future, it will only be beneficial to our Phoenix Palace. That's right. Several elders of Phoenix Palace spoke, communicating through voice transmissions. At this moment, a terrifying sonic boom came from behind Lu Ming. The Golden Crow Sixth Prince was charging at him again. How dare you sneak attack me when you're injured? I'll kill you, Lu Ming said coldly. The Grand Saint weapon in his hand suddenly slashed behind him. Now, there were 6 Grand Saint weapons sealed in Lu Ming's body. They were extremely powerful. With one slash, a shrill scream sounded. Golden feathers flew everywhere. One of the Golden Crow Sixth Prince's wings had been cut off by Lu Ming. The Golden Crow Sixth Prince had already been injured by Lu Ming. Naturally, he was no match for Lu Ming. The Golden Crow Sixth Prince paled in fright. He desperately flapped his remaining wing and retreated. Primal Chaos Finger. Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the Golden Crow Sixth Prince's wing. Then he pointed a finger. A terrifying finger pointed at the Golden Crow's sixth prince. The Golden Crow's sixth prince was terrified. He desperately tried to escape, but it was too late. The primal chaos finger was rapidly approaching him. At this moment, a golden light flashed and hit the primal chaos finger. It broke the primal chaos finger and allowed the Golden Crow's sixth prince to escape. It was an elder from the Golden Crow clan who had saved the Golden Crow's sixth prince. How despicable! Mu Qingxue was straightforward. Her voice spread throughout the area. The Golden Crow expert glanced coldly at Mu Qingxue. He didn't say anything. Lu Ming glanced coldly at the Golden Crows. He didn't chase after the Golden Crow's sixth prince. Instead, he looked at Wan Tianbing. Right now, Wan Tianbing's eyes were bloodshot. He was bathed in blood. This wasn't Lu Ming's blood. It was his own. He'd been torn out by the backlash of the ultimate saint weapon. The backlash was getting stronger and stronger. Wan Tianbing couldn't take it anymore. Suddenly, Wan Tianbing's body shook. He spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura quickly weakened. Lu Ming wouldn't miss this opportunity. The Tai Chi formation floated above his head. He held his battle sword and charged at Wan Tianbing. Wan Tianbing could only barely raise his battle axe to block the attack. Clang! Wan Tianbing's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He couldn't even hold onto his battle axe. The battle axe shook and flew out of his hand. Lu Ming stepped into the air. His saint power swept up Wan Tianbing's battle axe and put it into his storage ring. At the same time, he continued to charge at Wan Tianbing with his battle sword. Wan Tianbing was suffering from the backlash. His body was about to be torn apart. He was severely injured. How could he block Lu Ming's attack? No! Wan Tianbing yelled. Enough! An elder from the Wan family stepped out. With a wave of his hand, a stream of saint power wrapped around Wan Tianbing like a ribbon and pulled him behind him. Then, a cold glint flashed in his eyes. He struck out with his palm and a huge palm print blasted toward Lu Ming, intending to kill him. Oh no! Lu Ming's expression changed. He didn't expect the other party to be so despicable. Not only did he interfere, but he also attacked him. Although it was just a casual attack, the other party's cultivation was too high. Its power was still terrifying. Buzz! The Tai Chi formation above Lu Ming's head vibrated. It shone brightly and grew rapidly. It rushed toward the huge palm print. At the same time, Lu Ming unleashed all his strength. He pointed out with his finger. The power of the chaotic calamity finger was fully unleashed. A huge chaotic calamity finger pointed forward. His body quickly retreated. Boom! Chapter 1764. The giant palm didn't stop there. It continued to smash down and collided with the chaotic finger of calamity. The chaotic finger of calamity emitted chaotic light and was extremely powerful. However, Lu Ming's cultivation was still too weak. He couldn't block the palm and collapsed. However, after continuous resistance, the other party's palm print had been weakened by a large part. The remaining palm energy continued to blast toward Lu Ming. Block it! Lu Ming retreated while blocking with all his strength. More than 100 sacred weapons floated in front of him. A layer of dragon scales appeared on the surface of his body. The law of chaos flowed on the dragon scales. Boom! The palm swept over and crushed everything. Lu Ming's body shook violently and retreated 1,000 meters. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face was pale. There was a cold glint in the eyes of the elder from the Wan family. His palm did not kill Lu Ming. Instead, it only injured Lu Ming. He slashed out with his palm. This time, it was a sword gleam. It was stunning as if it could break through everything. At that moment, the cry of a phoenix sounded. A ray of light flew out and blocked the sword light. The Wan family elder looked at the Phoenix Palace and said coldly, "Why? Does the Phoenix Palace want to stop me?" Nonsense. The Golden Crow clan is shameless, but the Wan family is even more shameless. The younger generation can't defeat Lu Ming, so you attacked the older generation. How despicable! Mu Qingxue cursed. Shut up! The Wan family elder scolded. Shut up? You're despicable and shameless, but you don't allow others to talk about you. Mu Qingxue shouted. The force behind Mu Qingxue was also very powerful. She wasn't afraid of the Wan family at all. Qingxue is right. A month ago, Lu Ming challenged Wan Tianbing and the Golden Crow Sixth Prince to a battle. It was a battle of the younger generation. But now, not only did you save Wan Tianbing, but you also attacked Lu Ming. Don't you think that's too much? Huang Ling added. It's not just excessive, it's simply shameless. Just now, Wan Tianbing had the upper hand, so he shouted at Lu Ming to kill him. When Wan Tianbing was no match for him, the older generation stepped in to save him. They even directly attacked Lu Ming. This is the way of the Wan clan. I've really learned something new, Long Chen said coldly. After being mocked by several juniors, the expert from the Wan clan had an extremely ugly expression on his face. Then, the expert from the Wan family looked at Lu Ming and scolded, "Boy, hand over the ultimate holy weapon, the battle axe, and I will spare your life." Spare my life? Ha, what a joke. Lu Ming laughed uproariously as he stepped into the air, facing the Wan clan's expert head-on. I've never imagined that a holy ground like the Wan clan could be so shameless. How can such a force be called a holy ground? What a joke. Today, I fought against Wan Tianbing and the Sixth Golden Crow Prince. If I'm no match for them, I'll just be killed. If they're no match for me, you have no right to interfere. Moreover, that battle axe is my spoils of war. What right do you have to take it back? How dare you insult the Wan clan? You're courting death. The Wan clan's expert's eyes emitted cold, murderous intent as he stepped forward. A terrifying aura pressed down on Lu Ming. However, an elder from the Phoenix Palace also stepped forward and blocked the Wan clan's expert with his aura. Is the Phoenix Palace determined to go against the Wan clan? The Wan clan's elder said coldly. Do you think the Phoenix Palace is afraid? An old woman from the Phoenix Palace smiled faintly. Ha, everyone present, in my opinion, if you see the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan in the future, you'd better avoid them. It's best if you don't spar with them. If you lose, you'll be humiliated and killed. If you win, their older generation will immediately rush over to kill you. Lu Ming laughed out loud. His tone was full of sarcasm. That's right. In my opinion, the younger generation of the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan should stay at home and not come out. They can't afford to lose. Mu Qingxue added. The Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan's faces darkened. Kid, hand over that wing and we'll forget about what happened today. At that moment, an expert from the Golden Crow clan stepped forward and looked at Lu Ming with his golden eyes. What a joke. That's also my spoils of war. I'll roast that Golden Crow wing tonight. It must be delicious. Lu Ming said faintly. He was upset, extremely upset. This was an unfair battle. Just as he had said, if he had lost, he would have been killed by the other party. However, the other party's older generation directly intervened and saved the Sixth Golden Crow Prince and Wan Tianbing. Now they were asking for his spoils of war. How could Lu Ming hand it over? How dare you? You're courting death. All the experts from the Golden Crow clan stepped forward with murderous intent. Their eyes were cold as they closed in on Lu Ming. In the sky, the sound of dragons and elephants could be heard. Long Chen stepped on the void and came over. Behind him were the experts from the Divine Elephant Clan. Does the Divine Elephant Clan want to interfere too? An expert from the Golden Crow Clan said with a serious look in his eyes. The Divine Elephant Clan was extremely powerful. Even the Golden Crow Clan had to be wary of them. Nonsense. Long Chen's answer was simple, but it showed his attitude. Bam, bam. The experts from the Phoenix Palace stepped on the void and stood in front of Lu Ming. The experts from the four sides began to confront each other. The other experts around them watched excitedly. Were the four forces going to fight today? Elder, Lu Ming is so talented that he's worthy of our friendship. Moreover, Lu Ming and I are old friends. Yi Dongfang transmitted his voice to an expert from the Thunder God sect. The eyes of the expert from the Thunder God sect flickered. He nodded and transmitted his voice to the other experts from the Thunder God sect. Then, lightning flashed and several elders from the Thunder God sect appeared near the experts from the Wan clan. A terrifying aura pressed down on the Wan clan. Wan clan, Golden Crow clan, you've gone too far today. An elder from the Thunder God sect said. This made the faces of the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan turn even uglier. The Thunder God sect wants to interfere too? An expert from the Wan clan said. A battle between the younger generation is a matter for the younger generation. If there is no competition between the geniuses, how can they grow? The older generation is not allowed to interfere. This is an unwritten rule in the martial arts world. If everyone is like you, how can the younger generation dare to go out and train? If the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan can do this, then the other forces can do the same. The younger generation will be slaughtered by the older generation. An elder from the Thunder God sect said. Although the voice of the elder from the Thunder God sect was calm, it was filled with killing intent. If the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan can do this, then the other forces can do the same. Unless the disciples of the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan join forces in the future, they will be killed too. Without the addition of the younger generation, any force will be destroyed. The faces of the experts from the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan turned gloomy. Alright, let's forget about today's matter. An expert from the Wan clan waved his sleeves and looked coldly at Lu Ming. Don't think that you can dominate the younger generation after defeating Wan Tianbing and the sixth prince of the Golden Crow clan. Those great Saint Sky Prides from the ancient Moon Holy Ground have gone to the Celestial City. However, they will be back soon. At that time, my Wan clan will kill you. Chapter 1765. Although the remaining Golden Crows were extremely unwilling and wanted to take back the sixth prince's wings, it was impossible for them to do so on their own. Lu Ming, the previous princes of the Golden Crows, are also returning from Celestial City. If you dare to do anything to humiliate the Golden Crows, you will definitely die. An elite from the Golden Crows said coldly. Then he led the rest of the Golden Crows away, turning into rays of sword light and leaving the place. Of course, what he meant by humiliating the Golden Crows was the roasted wings that Lu Ming had mentioned before. In the blink of an eye, the Wan family and the Golden Crows had all left and disappeared without a trace. The battle had ended just like that. However, Lu Ming's name would definitely resound throughout the ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming, long time no see. You've become stronger. You're indeed the number one in the divine ruins. Long Chen stepped on the air and said with a smile. Thank you. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Long Chen. Then he bowed to the elites of Phoenix Palace, Divine Elephant Sect, and Thunder God Sect. Lu Ming thanks all of you for your help. Lu Ming will remember this kindness in his heart. Ha, my nephew Lu Ming, you don't have to be so polite. The actions of the Wan family and the Golden Crows were truly despicable. We just couldn't stand it. An old man from the Thunder God sect laughed out loud, appearing rather heroic. Lu Ming, let's go and have a drink. Yi Dongfang stepped over. All right, let's go together. It's my treat today. Lu Ming nodded with a smile. You young people can have a gathering. We old men won't get involved. The elder from Thunder God sect smiled. Then he and the others from Thunder God sect flashed and left the place. You guys go back first. Long Chen ordered the elites of Divine Elephant Sect. Clearly, Long Chen's status in Divine Elephant Sect was not low. The cultivators of the Divine Elephant Sect nodded and left. Finally, the cultivators of the Phoenix Palace left as well. In a bustling gathering place in a bustling restaurant, Lu Ming, Long Chen, Huang Ling, Mu Qingxue, Yi Dongfang, and Su Ran sat around a table. The table was already filled with spirit wine and delicacies. Everyone toasted each other and ate to their heart's content. Lu Ming, it's been 7 or 8 years since we parted on the Godly Ruins continent. Long Chen drank a few cups in a row and sighed. He had chosen to join the Divine Dragon Valley just like Lu Ming, but he was captured by the Southern Divine Palace in the Divine Ruins continent and imprisoned for almost 2 years. In the end, he was rescued by a peerless overlord from the Divine Elephant Sect and became his disciple. Now, he was respected in the Divine Elephant Sect. Actually, it's not like we haven't seen each other for 7 or 8 years. Later on, I returned to the ruins of God and saw you being taken away by the experts of the Divine Elephant Sect. Lu Ming said with a smile. You were there as well? Long Chen was stunned. Lu Ming nodded and briefly explained how he had snuck into the Southern Divine Palace to save Long Chen. Thank you. Long Chen raised his cup, his eyes filled with gratitude. Ha, you don't have to thank me. Fortunately, there was an overlord from the Divine Elephant Sect. Otherwise, with my cultivation back then, I wouldn't have been able to save you. Lu Ming smiled. The others were also surprised. They didn't expect Lu Ming and Long Chen to come from the same place. At this time, Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. Then, a light flashed between his eyebrows and bubbles appeared on Lu Ming's shoulder. Damn Lu Ming, stinky Lu Ming, you keep me in the mountain river diagram every day while you eat and drink here. Chirp chirp. Bubbles came out and muttered unhappily. Then she grabbed a wine pot and gulped down a few mouthfuls. Her pink face immediately turned even redder. Long Chen, Huang Ling, and the others were stunned when they saw Lu Ming let out a little girl of 2 or 3 years old. Lu Ming, it's been many years since we last met. I didn't expect you to have a child. Congratulations. Long Chen picked up a cup of wine and drank it in one gulp. What? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Lu Ming, so you already have a child? Huang Ling stared at Lu Ming with wide eyes and then at Bubbles. The more she looked at the two, the more she felt that they were alike. A trace of disappointment flashed in the depths of her eyes. Wow, Huang Ling is going to cry now. But Lu Ming, your daughter is so cute. Come, let Andy hug her. Mu Qingxue walked over and wanted to hug Bubbles. Bubbles shook her head like a rattle drum and jumped onto Lu Ming. She hugged Lu Ming's neck and hung onto Lu Ming's body tightly. You've misunderstood. She's not my daughter. Lu Ming said speechlessly. Not your daughter? Don't quibble. I think she really looks like you. Mu Qingxue obviously didn't believe it. To be honest, Bubbles and Lu Ming did look somewhat similar. That was because when Bubbles transformed, she subconsciously looked like Lu Ming. Naturally, there would be some resemblance. She's really not. Her name is Bubbles. Her original form is a divine beast, not a human. You guys sense it carefully. Lu Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He could only explain. Everyone sensed it and found that Bubbles wasn't human. She was emitting the aura of a divine beast. Of course, after Bubbles transformed, they couldn't sense what kind of divine beast she was. Oh, she's really a divine beast. Mu Qingxue muttered, while Huang Ling inexplicably heaved a sigh of relief. It's a misunderstanding. Let's drink. Long Chen smiled awkwardly. Everyone clinked their cups continuously. The atmosphere was lively. Lu Ming, you've offended the Golden Crow clan and the Wan family today. You still have to be careful. Although they were forced by us today and their elders can't make a move, there are stronger sky prides from the two forces. Soon, they will return from Celestial City. Yi Dongfang said. Long Chen, Huang Ling, and Mu Qingxue's faces froze. That's right. Those sky prides are almost all above the Great Sage Realm. They're very terrifying. Huang Ling's face was also a little solemn. Celestial City? Why are those people in Celestial City? Lu Ming was puzzled. It was the first time he had heard of Celestial City. Lu Ming, there are 9 great holy lands in the land of Yuan Mountain. Ancient Moon Holy Land is one of them, but it's not too strong. Celestial City is also one of the 9 great holy lands. It's the leader of the 9 great holy lands. Long Chen explained. Lu Ming's heart moved. Celestial City was the leader of the 9 great holy lands. Celestial City is vast and boundless. Legend has it that it was built by the ancient Celestial Emperor. In Celestial City, there are many powerful forces that are more terrifying than ancient Moon Holy Land. About a year ago, there was news from Celestial City that a great emperor came forward to establish a sacred courtyard of Yuan Mountain. He summoned all the sky prides in the land of Yuan Mountain to cultivate. All the sky prides in the land of Yuan Mountain will enter and there will be a great emperor personally preaching. This is a true great emperor, and there's more than one of them. When this news came out, the entire land of Yuan Mountain was shaken. Many powerful sky prides took the lead and rushed to Celestial City. I heard that the Celestial City is gathering. Long Chen explained. Celestial Emperor? A true great emperor? Lu Ming was puzzled. He heard Long Chen's words and it was a little strange. Chapter 1766. Lu Ming, I don't think you're clear about the division of the martial emperor realm. Huang Ling said. Lu Ming nodded. He had just arrived at the ancient Moon Holy Land not long ago and there was no emperor-level figure in the Tsang state. Naturally, he was not clear about the division of the martial emperor realm. The martial emperor realm is actually divided into several realms. Those who have just broken through to the martial emperor realm are called the minor emperor realm, then the intermediate emperor realm, then the great emperor realm. Above the great emperor realm is the heavenly emperor realm. Each emperor realm is divided into 7 stars. Huang Ling explained. Lu Ming was shocked. There were so many realms in the martial emperor realm. Minor emperor realm, intermediate emperor realm, great emperor realm, heavenly emperor realm. Each emperor realm was divided into 7 stars. How shocking was that? Outside the ancient Moon Holy Land, the emperor-level experts of the emperor-level forces are generally in the minor emperor realm. They are not considered true great emperors. However, many people below the martial emperor realm will address those emperor-level experts as great emperors. In fact, only those who have reached the great emperor realm are true great emperors. They will add the word great emperor to their title, such as the reincarnation great emperor in the 100-clan battlefield. Huang Ling continued to explain. I see. Lu Ming understood. Usually, the great emperors they referred to were not great emperors, but just a title. For example, Emperor Song, Emperor Yun, 1000-kill martial emperor, etc. They were not great emperors, so their titles did not include the word great emperor. For example, Emperor Song was called great emperor in the Tsang state. Of course, that was because the people in the Tsang state did not know the division of the martial emperor realm. The reincarnation great emperor was a true great emperor. There are so many realms in the martial emperor realm. I guess people like Emperor Tsang are just minor emperors. The road to the top is long, but it's more interesting. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with anticipation. The road of martial arts was long, and the process of climbing was a kind of fun. Great emperors are the ones who stand at the top. Now, I don't know if the ancient Moon Holy Land has any. In the Celestial City, several great emperors have come forward to establish the Yuan Mountain Holy Court. This is something that has never happened before, so naturally it's attracted countless geniuses. Yi Dongfang said with a look of yearning in his eyes. Are there any heavenly emperor powerhouses in Yuan Mountain? Lu Ming asked. I don't know. Huang Ling, Long Chen, and the others shook their heads. Legend has it that the Celestial Emperor City was built by the Celestial Emperor himself. But now, the Celestial Emperor is a legend that cannot be seen in this world. The Celestial Emperor is the pinnacle. Long Chen sighed. Is there a realm above the Celestial Emperor? Lu Ming asked again. There are legends, but they're too far away. They're legends among legends. Huang Ling said after pondering for a moment. Lu Ming found it hard to calm down. He thought of many things. What realm were the top 10 beasts in? Eggy had once said that the 10 strongest war beasts were the peak existences in the world. Were they the great emperors or the celestial emperors? Back then, Lu Ming had seen the Titan longhorn beetle attack. It was truly incomparably terrifying, as if it could destroy the world. Also, it was said that the primal chaos emperor was even stronger than the top 10 beasts. What realm was he at? After thinking for a while, Lu Ming shook his head and pulled his thoughts back. These things were still too far away from him. Has Yuan Mountain's sacred courtyard been convened? Lu Ming changed the topic. No, I heard that it has been built. I believe that it will be convened soon. This time, those geniuses returned from Celestial City to prepare for the opening of Yuan Mountain's sacred courtyard. After all, it's not that easy to enter Yuan Mountain's sacred courtyard. Long Chen said. Everyone chatted and drank. Time passed quickly, and a few hours had passed in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming knew a lot of information that he didn't know before. Although Lu Ming obtained a part of the 9 dragons' memories, it was only a part after all. Many of them were missing. Moreover, the 9 dragons had fallen a long time ago. Their memories of Yuan Mountain were almost blank. Lu Ming, I have something to ask. How about we go out and talk? Long Chen said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. We should go too. Huang Ling said. Then Huang Ling, Yi Dongfang, Su Ran, and the others all left. Lu Ming paid the bill and left with Long Chen. At this time, it was already night. The two of them walked in the air above the clouds. How's the situation in Divine Wilderness now? Long Chen asked. Lu Ming wasn't surprised. He knew that Long Chen would definitely ask. Divine Wilderness is now unified. Lu Ming briefly recounted what had happened in the Divine Wilderness continent. After listening to it, Long Chen fell silent and didn't speak for a long time. Lu Ming didn't say anything either. After all, Long Chen came from an overlord force, which was destroyed by him. As for the Xie family, they closed their doors and sealed themselves for 10,000 years. Long Chen's fiancée was the princess of the Xie family, Xianenli. After a long time, Long Chen sighed and said, I didn't expect that such a thing would happen in Divine Wilderness. But it's good this way. In fact, when I saw you, I knew that the situation in Divine Wilderness has most likely stabilized. You don't blame me? Lu Ming asked. What's there to blame about the situation? In this world, many things happen every day. Many forces are destroyed and many forces are born. This is the unchanging rule of this world. If I were you, I would do the same. Long Chen said with a smile. Thank you. Lu Ming said. I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for letting the Xie family go. Long Chen said with a smile. After pondering for a while, he said, It seems that I will have to make a trip back to Divine Wilderness. I want to bring Nianlin out. It's not a violation of the oath, right? Of course not. When are you going back? Does the Divine Elephant sect have a teleportation array? Lu Ming asked. After leaving for so many years, Lu Ming also wanted to go back. The Divine Elephant sect doesn't have a teleportation array to the Divine Ruins continent. For the ancient Moon Holy Land, the Divine Ruins continent is too remote. No force would open such a teleportation array. As far as I know, only some forces in Song State, Cloud State, and Emperor State are relatively close to the Divine Ruins continent. Only then can they open a teleportation array. Long Chen said. What? Only Song State, Cloud State, and Emperor State have teleportation arrays? Lu Ming's expression changed. That's right, but could it be that something big happened in these 3 states? Long Chen asked. That's right. Lu Ming immediately told him about the Evil Spirit sect. It's actually the Evil Spirit sect. I will go back and report this matter to Master and see if he can send people to Tsong State to destroy the Evil Spirit sect. Long Chen said. Lu Ming nodded. It would be best if the Divine Elephant sect sent experts to destroy the Evil Spirit sect. Lu Ming, we haven't seen each other in many years. Why don't we spar? Long Chen suddenly spoke. A powerful battle intent emanated from his body. That's exactly what I want. Chapter 1767. Long Chen was the #1 person among the younger generation in the Divine Wilderness continent. He had awakened one of the top 10 battle beasts, the immemorial dragonesque elephant bloodline, which was extremely powerful and had unparalleled combat strength. Later on, he became the disciple of the Divine Elephant sect and came to the ancient Moon Holy Land. After so many years, Lu Ming was also very curious to see how far Long Chen had come. Boom, boom. The two stood in the sky, facing each other, and a terrifying aura erupted from their bodies. Their auras collided fiercely, and in an instant, the surrounding clouds were directly blasted away and scattered. Great Circle of the Bright Sage Realm. As soon as the aura was revealed, Lu Ming could see that Long Chen's cultivation was at the Great Circle of the Bright Sage Realm. He was not far from the Great Saint Realm. This was normal. Although Long Chen's cultivation was surpassed by Lu Ming, Lu Ming came to the ancient Moon Holy Land and became the disciple of the Divine Elephant sect. The resources that Lu Ming received were definitely far more than Lu Ming's. It was normal that he had reached the great circle of the bright sage realm. A dragon's roar and an elephant's trumpet sounded at the same time. Above their heads, a vision of heaven and earth appeared at the same time. A 9-dragon and an immemorial dragonesque elephant, both of them had the aura and majesty of overlooking the world. Then the two moved at the same time. The two figures rushed towards each other at the same time. Lu Ming's body flowed with the law of primal chaos as he performed the suppressing hell-heaven skill. With a palm strike, his palm seemed to have turned into a suppressing hell monument, suppressing Long Chen. Lu Ming did not hold back against Long Chen and used all his strength. Long Chen's body constantly emitted the sound of an elephant's trumpet. His body swelled up, and his arms grew rapidly. His muscles were knotted, as if they were filled with endless strength. The two palms struck each other fiercely, meeting force with force. Like two stars colliding, the sky trembled and the space fluctuated violently. An invisible force burst out from the place where the two collided, sweeping across a radius of thousands of miles, destroying all the clouds. The two separated after one strike and retreated at the same time. What a terrifying power! This is the law of strength. Lu Ming's mind raced as he saw through Long Chen's laws. Long Chen's law was the extreme force law. It was known as the extreme force law. With the circulation of the law, he could release an incomparably terrifying power with just a raise of his hand. This was a terrifying law. Although it was not as powerful as the 10 supreme laws, it was not too far off. It was one of the most terrifying laws below the 10 supreme laws. Again! Long Chen's fighting spirit soared like a rainbow. He was like an immemorial divine elephant, stepping on the void with all his strength. Good timing! Lu Ming had nothing to fear. He cultivated the law of primal chaos, one of the strongest laws in the world. He also had the hell-suppressing heaven skill. With the combination of these two, every strike contained boundless power that could suppress everything. The two of them clashed for the second time, and an even more intense roar resounded between heaven and earth. This time, the two figures trembled and continued to bombard each other. Terrifying collisions occurred one after another. The two of them seemed to have transformed into ancient wild beasts, suppressing the world. The two figures flickered in the sky, and terrifying forces burst out continuously. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged more than 100 blows, and there was no clear winner. Long Chen's spiritual body was also a medium heaven spiritual body, and his law was the extreme force law. Both of them were slightly weaker than Lu Ming, but their cultivation was much stronger than Lu Ming's. The two of them fought fiercely, and it was difficult to determine the winner. Bam! Another blow was exchanged, and the two of them retreated. Lu Ming, I'm going to use my super skill next. You have to be careful. Long Chen's fighting spirit grew stronger. Same to you, Lu Ming said. The blood in his body boiled, and the law of primal chaos circulated throughout his body. Extreme force divine elephant fist. Chaotic calamity finger. The two of them shouted at the same time, and used the chaotic calamity finger. Lu Ming did not hide his strength, and he unleashed his full strength. 33% of the chaotic calamity finger burst out, and a huge finger, like the finger of a god, pointed at Long Chen. Long Chen punched out, and a giant elephant appeared in the sky. It roared at the sky, and stepped on the void, and jumped toward Lu Ming, as if it wanted to destroy everything. Boom! The chaotic calamity finger and the giant elephant collided, and then there was an earth-shattering explosion. Lu Ming and Long Chen used the force of the explosion to retreat a few hundred miles, and looked at each other from afar. Lu Ming, I haven't seen you for many years, and you're still so strong. Today's battle was really enjoyable. How about we spar another day? Long Chen said. You're very strong too. Let's spar another day. Lu Ming nodded. I'll look for you in a few days when there's news from my master. With that, Long Chen turned around and left. Of course, Lu Ming did not notice that Long Chen's hand, which was hidden in his sleeve, was trembling. After Long Chen left, Lu Ming shook his numb hand and smiled bitterly. My cultivation is still a little weak. To be honest, Long Chen was very strong, and Lu Ming had a faint feeling that Long Chen might not have used his full strength in the last divine ability. Of course, Lu Ming's means were not limited to that. If he really went all out, Long Chen might not be able to defeat him. With a faint smile, Lu Ming turned around and left, returning to Phoenix Palace. For the next few days, Lu Ming spent his time cultivating. 3 days later, Long Chen came to Phoenix Palace. Your master didn't agree? Lu Ming frowned slightly. Long Chen's face was also full of bitterness. He sat down in the seat in Lu Ming's courtyard, took out a bottle of wine, and took a big gulp. That's right. I told Master about the evil spirit sect and wanted to ask him to send people to annihilate the evil spirit sect. However, Master rejected me directly. He said that he would leave such a small matter to me to settle. Left to you to deal with? Lu Ming was also speechless. Sigh, it seems that I can't go back for the time being. I can only work hard to cultivate and become the arch in the future. Only then can I kill my way to Tsong Prefecture and take the teleportation array back to the divine wilderness. Long Chen said helplessly. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. It seemed that this was a test from Long Chen's master. Smells good. There's wine to drink again. A tender voice came from outside the courtyard. Then, they saw Bubbles scurrying in with Huang Ling behind her. Over the past few days, Bubble had gotten familiar with Huang Ling. They spent every day together, running around Phoenix Palace. Phoenix Palace had quite a number of sacred medicines that entered her stomach. Little girl, you still like to drink. I'll give you a jar. A wine jar appeared in Long Chen's hand, and he threw it to Bubbles. Bubbles caught it, opened the lid, and took a big gulp. She was so happy that her eyes narrowed. This little guy is really greedy. Huang Ling walked in with a smile. Just nice, I still have a golden crow wing here that I haven't eaten yet. Lu Ming smiled and took out a golden wing. Sacred power surged, and he plucked all the golden crow feathers on the wing and began to roast it. Huang Ling was a little stunned. She did not expect Lu Ming to really dare to roast a golden crow wing. Not long after, a fragrant smell assailed their nostrils. They began to eat heartily, especially Bubbles. Her mouth was full of oil and her eyes were narrowed. Buzz. At that moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. A token rushed out of his body, emitting a resplendent light. Chapter 1768. The primordial chaos token suddenly rushed out, which surprised Lu Ming. However, in the next moment, Long Chen and Huang Ling's bodies also lit up, and a primordial chaos token rushed out. Obviously, Huang Ling had also obtained a primordial chaos token. Lu Ming was not surprised. It was said that the primordial chaos token was given to people with great potential. Before Huang Ling broke through to the ruler realm, she had awakened the immortal heavenly phoenix bloodline. She was one of the top 10 war beasts and was not weaker than Long Chen. It was normal for her to obtain a primordial chaos token. Could it be that the final test of the primordial chaos sect is coming? Huang Ling said in a delicate voice, and a trace of anticipation appeared in her eyes. The final test of the primordial chaos sect. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. When he first obtained the primordial chaos token, a voice was transmitted to him, meaning that he had passed the preliminary test. Later on, 2E had told Lu Ming that the primordial chaos token was related to the successor of the primordial chaos sect. In fact, Lu Ming had been waiting all this while. It had been so many years. Was it finally time? The 3 primordial chaos tokens floated above the 3 of them, and the light became brighter and brighter. In the end, they formed 3 light pillars that enveloped the 3 of them. I want to go too, chirp chirp. Bubbles flew into Lu Ming's arms. At first, Lu Ming was afraid that the light pillar would repel Bubbles. After all, Bubbles did not have a primordial chaos token. He did not expect that the light pillar would not be abnormal at all. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The light pillar buzzed. Then, Lu Ming, Huang Ling, and Long Chen disappeared. Of course, Bubbles also disappeared. Lu Ming felt as if he was traveling through time and space. This feeling was very similar to when he went to the Primordial Chaos Palace. He must have traveled through a long space to have this feeling. Suddenly, his body shook. Lu Ming found that he had appeared on a small boat. Where is this? Lu Ming looked around. In all directions, there were layers of clouds. It was vast, and clouds and mist lingered. He could not tell east, west, north, or south. There was no land or sky. Below him, a small boat was floating in the vast clouds. Big brother Lu Ming. Bubbles actually came in as well. She stood beside Lu Ming and looked around curiously. The previous generation spirit mouse was one of the Primordial Chaos sect's hall masters. Perhaps because of this reason, Bubbles can enter without a Primordial Chaos token. Lu Ming secretly guessed. Huang Ling Long. Lu Ming's gaze looked. Huang Ling and Long Chen were on the right side of Lu Ming. There was a side boat under their feet, suspended in the clouds. Huang Ling, someone from your Phoenix Palace must have entered before. What should we do next? Lu Ming asked. Huang Ling shook her head and said, the Battle of Providence has been going on for many years. Every once in a while, someone will obtain the Chaos Origin token and enter the final test. However, the place to enter is different every time. Therefore, I have no experience in this. That's right. I've seen similar records in the Divine Elephant sect. In the Primordial Chaos sect's final test, the place to enter is different every time, but the place after is always the same. Long Chen added, do you know what kind of existence Primordial Chaos sect is? They control the War of Providence. How can they cover the entire Yuan continent? Lu Ming had always been curious about this. Legend has it that Primordial Chaos sect is one of the top forces in the Heaven domain. It is very powerful. Yuan continent has countless powerful unique skills. They are all passed down from Primordial Chaos sect. Rumor has it that Primordial Chaos sect is looking for a successor. Huang Ling explained. Could it be that all the youths with talent and potential in the entire Yuan continent will undergo the final test? Lu Ming asked. Not necessarily. Primordial Chaos sect is one of the most powerful inheritances in the world. But it is not the only one. There are inheritances that are as powerful as Primordial Chaos sect. Also, some geniuses did not take part in the War of Providence. Naturally, they cannot take part in the final test. However, there will be a large number of geniuses with terrifying talent and potential. Huang Ling explained. Lu Ming nodded. This time, they might meet a large number of peerless geniuses from all over Yuan continent. Those who could get Primordial Chaos tokens were definitely people with great potential. Some of the geniuses might have reached an unimaginable level. What should we do next? Long Chen asked. We can only move forward. Our 3 boats are heading in the same direction. Let's move forward, Lu Ming suggested. Huang Ling and Long Chen nodded. The 3 of them channeled their saint power into the boat. The boat flew forward quickly. This place was boundless. There was no direction. There was no land or starry sky. The 3 of them could only move forward. However, after a few days, they still did not discover anything. The surroundings were still filled with clouds and mist. It was ethereal and boundless as if there was no end to it. Fortunately, the 3 of them were very patient. They sat cross-legged on the boat and cultivated as they moved forward. They were not in a hurry. Bubble, on the other hand, was very curious at first. She blinked her eyes and looked left and right. When she realized that there was nothing but clouds in all directions and there was almost no difference, she lay down on the boat out of boredom and fell asleep. Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. They were still sailing in the clouds. Look, what is that? Suddenly, Huang Ling exclaimed in surprise. Lu Ming and Long Chen also looked forward. There was a figure in the endless clouds. It was a huge figure. This figure was sitting cross-legged in the clouds. Its energy was as high as the sky, and it was incomparably huge. Endless clouds surrounded its body. This is... The 3 of them narrowed their eyes. The figure was too huge. Even a 10,000 feet tall mountain was like an ant in front of the figure. What a powerful sword essence! The closer they got, the more they felt that the figure was emitting a terrifying sword essence. It was as if it was going to split the heavens and earth. It was definitely a terrifying existence. However, the figure just sat there and did not move. No, it's an illusory figure. It's not real. Lu Ming looked carefully and suddenly said. He realized that the figure was not real. It was just an illusory figure. Huang Ling and Long Chen let out a long breath. The figure gave them too much pressure. It was definitely an unimaginable existence. It could probably kill them with a breath. If someone who cultivates the way of the sword comes here, it will definitely be a great opportunity. Huang Ling exclaimed. If someone who cultivates the way of the sword came here and comprehended the sword essence of the huge figure, they would definitely gain something. However, none of the three of them specialized in the way of the sword. Naturally, it was not of much use. The three of them drove the boat around the huge figure and continued to move forward. However, not long after, they encountered another figure. It was also huge and emitted an extremely rich metal element aura. For the three of them, it was not of much use. The three of them went around it. Chapter 1769. Could it be that these figures are the projections of the powerful existences of the Hunyuan sect? Huang Ling guessed. That's very likely. Lu Ming and Long Chen nodded. The three of them continued to move forward. Suddenly, they saw a huge spirit rat in front of them. It's the space-time spirit rat. Lu Ming was shocked. He could tell at a glance that this huge spirit rat was the space-time spirit rat. The fact that the space-time spirit rat's figure appeared here meant that the real bodies of these figures were not necessarily alive in the world. Many of them might have already fallen. At this moment, Bubbles got up and looked at the huge space-time spirit rat's figure in a daze. Her eyes were filled with sadness. Suddenly, the space-time spirit rat's figure began to shrink rapidly. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and rushed towards Lu Ming. Its speed was unimaginable. Before Lu Ming could react, the ray of light rushed into Bubbles' forehead and disappeared. Bubbles' expression became serious. She sat cross-legged on the boat and began to cultivate. Her body emitted a mysterious aura and was surrounded by the law of space-time. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He knew that this was Bubbles' opportunity. After that, the three of them continued to move forward. After another 2 days, they saw a huge elephant in the sky. It was roaring at the sky, and its aura was suppressing all directions. It was one of the top 10 battle beasts, the immemorial dragonesque elephant. Long Chen looked at the immemorial dragonesque elephant with full concentration. Finally, like the space-time spirit rat, the immemorial dragonesque elephant's figure shrank rapidly. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and disappeared into Long Chen's forehead. Long Chen closed his eyes and comprehended. He separated a part of his mind to control the boat and move forward with Lu Ming and the others. This vast and endless land seemed to have the projections of many powerful existences. Soon they encountered a huge phoenix. Its body was filled with immortal flames. This was one of the top 10 battle beasts, the immortal heavenly phoenix. The immortal heavenly phoenix's figure also turned into a ray of light and rushed into Huang Ling's forehead. Bubbles, Long Chen, and Huang Ling all obtained opportunities one after another. Lu Ming was also looking forward to it. What would he encounter? Would he encounter the 9 dragons figure? Another 2 days passed. It had been more than 20 days since they entered this place. Up ahead, a gigantic figure sat in the void with his legs crossed. His entire body was surrounded by a chaotic aura. This is the Primal Chaos Emperor. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. The Chaos Emperor was also one of the 9 palace masters of the Hunyuan sect. The Chaos Emperor exuded a powerful and terrifying fluctuation of the law of primal chaos. Lu Ming stared at the Chaos Emperor's illusory figure. The law of primal chaos burst forth from his body and resonated with the Chaos Emperor's illusory figure. Sure enough, the figure of the Chaos Emperor shrank rapidly. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and rushed into Lu Ming's glabella. Lu Ming immediately closed his eyes as the phantom of a primal Chaos Emperor appeared in his mind, exuding a powerful aura of primal chaos law. A great opportunity! Lu Ming's eyes brightened. If he could use this phantom as a reference, the speed at which he comprehended the laws of primal chaos would increase greatly. He didn't expect that he would encounter such an opportunity after being brought here by the Hunyuan token. Lu Ming divided a small part of his attention to control the boat and continued to sail forward. Then, he quietly comprehended the Chaos Tribulation finger. Sure enough, with the Chaos Emperor's illusory figure in his mind as a reference, the speed at which he comprehended the Chaos Tribulation finger greatly increased. 7 days later, Lu Ming's Chaos Tribulation finger had reached 40% mastery. It had been a month since they entered this place. Rumble. A violent rumble came from up ahead. Lu Ming, Huang Ling, and Long Chen woke up from their cultivation at the same time. This was the first time they had heard such a violent sound since entering this place. The three of them looked forward. Not far away, there were flashes of lightning that covered the entire space. Suddenly, their expressions changed as they looked to the sides. They finally saw the others. They were all young people, both men and women. Each of them had an extraordinary aura. At a glance, they could tell that they were giants among men. These people were like Lu Ming and the others. Each of them was riding a small boat and sailing forward. A few of them glanced at Lu Ming and the others coldly. However, they only glanced at them and looked forward. What powerful cultivation! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Although he had only glanced at those people, they gave off a strong pressure. These people's cultivation was definitely not as simple as bright saints. They had probably surpassed bright saints and reached a higher realm. They continued to sail forward. The deafening sound in front of them became louder and louder. It was the sound of thunder. Endless lightning flashed in the void, blocking the path ahead. The test has finally arrived. But how can mere lightning stop me? A proud figure sounded. Lu Ming saw a young man with sharp eyes and a mouth like a goshawk's. He stood on a small boat and accelerated forward. When he approached the area of lightning, a terrifying power of lightning erupted from his body. Sizzle! The lightning between heaven and earth constantly bombarded that person. The power of lightning also erupted from that person's body, fighting against the lightning outside. He drove the boat and disappeared in the vast lightning in the blink of an eye. Is that person from the Thunder Clan? Huang Ling said with a solemn face. Thunder Clan? Lu Ming was curious. The Thunder Clan is an ancient clan. This ancient clan has been around for countless years and is extremely powerful. Their foundation is unfathomable. Even many of the powerful forces in the ancient Moon Holy Land are incomparable to this ancient clan. Huang Ling explained. Lu Ming nodded. Then, other people drove the boats and rushed toward the area of lightning. Suddenly, a scream was heard. A young man could not withstand the power of the lightning and was turned into ashes by the lightning. You're not a martial sage yet and you're here to die. A woman with a cold face said indifferently. Her figure disappeared in the sea of lightning. Not all the geniuses who entered here had powerful cultivation. Some of them had not become martial sages. This made a few young men pale and they did not dare to go forward. However, most of the young men were fearless. They drove the boats and rushed into the sea of lightning to fight against it. A few of the young men exploded. Their auras were earth-shattering, shocking the others. Such powerful cultivation. This is the aura of an absolute saint. Huang Ling's eyes flashed with shock. One should know that these people were all very young. They were definitely under 50 years old and belonged to the younger generation. It was shocking that they had reached the absolute saint realm at such a young age. This time, many powerful geniuses from the primordial continent have entered. It's normal that there are absolute saints. Long Chen said. His expression was still calm. Let's go too, Lu Ming said. Chapter 1770. Rumble. Sizzle. Sizzle. As soon as they rushed into the sea of lightning, countless lightning bolts surged toward them, striking their heads and faces. Lu Ming's primal chaos law flowed around his body. His palms were like knives, constantly slashing out to disperse the lightning bolts. It's very powerful. Ordinary bright saints in the greater bright saints would find it difficult to resist. Lu Ming roughly knew the power of the lightning bolts after clashing with them. On the other side, Huang Ling's body was filled with undying flames, which condensed into a phoenix. The phoenix spread its wings and destroyed all the lightning bolts. Long Chen's attack method was similar to Lu Ming's. He punched out with both fists and destroyed the lightning bolts. As for Bubbles, she was the simplest. Her body was filled with the space-time law. When the lightning bolts struck the space-time law, they directly disappeared. That's the primal chaos law? And the space-time law. The other youths saw Lu Ming and Bubbles, and their faces became very grave. Lu Ming and the other three shuttled through the sea of lightning, resisting the lightning bolts as they moved forward. The sea of lightning was very large, but with the strength of Lu Ming and the other three, they could completely withstand it. After some time, they passed through the sea of lightning. As soon as they passed through the sea of lightning, they saw a huge platform in front of them, floating in the vast void. Looking from afar, there were some figures on the platform. Had they finally arrived? Their eyes lit up as they sped up and soon arrived at the edge of the platform. As soon as they arrived at the edge of the platform, the boat under their feet automatically disappeared, and the four of them stepped onto the platform. So many people! Lu Ming looked around and found that there were more than 1,000 people on the platform. All of them were young men and women, and each of them had an extraordinary aura. Some of them exuded powerful auras. Some of them were bright saints, some were great saints, and some were even absolute saints. However, there were even more people who had completely restrained their auras, giving others an unfathomable feeling. Lu Ming and the other three stepped onto the platform. Some people glanced at them, but more people sat cross-legged on the platform and closed their eyes to rest. "There's a door there," Huang Ling said softly. Lu Ming and the others also noticed. In the depths of the platform, there was a huge stone door. The stone door was tens of thousands of feet tall, but now, the stone door was tightly shut. Around the stone door was a vast void surrounded by clouds and mist. These young geniuses were probably waiting for the stone door to open. Lu Ming's group of four found an open space and walked over. Then, they all sat down cross-legged, seizing the opportunity to cultivate and comprehend. In this place, geniuses were as common as clouds. He had to make the best use of his time to cultivate. If he could increase his strength, it might be of great use at a critical moment. There was complete silence on the platform. As time passed, more and more people came to the platform. The number of people on the platform increased. Not long after, the number had reached around 2,000, but it was still increasing. When the number of people reached around 3,000, almost no one came. At this moment, the huge stone door trembled slightly. Then, it emitted a resplendent radiance. Following that, a figure condensed out of it. It was a white-robed old man with a kind face. "Everyone, next, I will open the door and you will face the real test. However, I have to remind you that the test will be very dangerous. If you want to give up, just shout out loud and I will send you back." The old man's voice spread throughout the place. However, everyone's eyes were firm. These young geniuses came from different regions, but there was no doubt that they were all terrifying and powerful geniuses. Being able to be recognized by the Chaos Origin token proved that they had unlimited potential. Therefore, these young geniuses were all proud and confident. How could they give up so easily? "Open!" After the white-robed old man finished speaking, he waved his hand and a ray of light landed on the stone door. The stone door shook and slowly opened. Through the stone door, one could see that behind the stone door was another world, a verdant and lush world. As soon as the stone door opened, some people rushed over as if they were afraid that others would beat them to it. Then, more people rushed forward. The stone door was very large. Even if thousands of people rushed through it together, it would not seem crowded. Lu Ming and the others also blended into the crowd and rushed through the door. However, at this moment, a huge palm suddenly appeared in the sky in front of them and blasted down on a genius. The huge palm was as big as a mountain and covered the sky. The genius screamed in pain and was smashed into meat paste by the huge palm. Then, with a loud roar, a towering giant ape jumped down from the sky. The earth shook and a genius could not dodge in time and was directly trampled to death. The palm just now came from this giant ape. The giant ape roared and slapped a pair of huge palms towards the others. We can't fight it head-on. Retreat. Someone roared and retreated frantically. Then, there were continuous roars coming from the sky. Lu Ming felt his hair stand on end. A strong sense of danger shrouded him. Retreat. Lu Ming roared. With a roll of his sacred power he brought Bubbles, Huang Ling, and Long Chen back quickly. Boom. Another giant ape appeared where Lu Ming and the others were just now. It roared into the sky and a murderous aura spread out. Bam. Bam. In the sky, there were constantly giant apes falling. These giant apes were thousands of feet tall and were bigger than a mountain. There were more than a dozen of them and they covered the area. Their palms were constantly slapping at the geniuses. In the blink of an eye, a few more geniuses were slapped to death. Get lost, a bunch of trash. Someone shouted coldly and did not retreat. Instead, he rushed up and unleashed a shocking attack to fight against the giant apes. Boom. There was a loud explosion and the giant apes were pushed back. That person turned into a ray of light and rushed out of the encirclement of the giant apes and disappeared. Swoosh. Lu Ming saw that it was a genius from the Thunder Tribe. His hand grasped the air and a terrifying and boundless power of lightning condensed into a palm. He easily pushed back a giant ape and broke through. What a strong power of lightning! Lu Ming exclaimed. The law of lightning was a very ordinary law. However, in the hands of the Lei clan, the might it unleashed was incomparably powerful. Destroy! A gray-robed youth with a terrifying aura of death slashed out with his palm. It turned into a terrifying saber and slashed out. It cut off the giant ape's palm and easily passed through the area. The law of death! Lu Ming's pupils shrank rapidly. During his time in the ancient Moon Holy Ground, he had learned a lot about the thousands of laws in the world. The law of death was an extremely terrifying law. It was as famous as the law of chaos, the law of space-time, and the law of reincarnation. It was one of the 10 strongest laws in the world. Those who mastered the law of death were known as the Son of Heaven, the Son of Death. Chapter 1771. It was a black-robed young man. He was burly and his eyes were like lightning. The law that flowed around him was actually the law of primal chaos. Lu Ming was shocked. Other than him, there was someone else who could control the law of primal chaos. Could it be the chaotic body that Tu-Yi mentioned? Lu Ming guessed. That was the only possibility. Lu Ming never thought that he would see the chaotic body so soon. This person was extremely powerful, like a god. He was enveloped in the law of primal chaos. With a punch, a giant ape's palm exploded. The ape's huge body was forced to retreat. Kill! This person was extremely domineering. With a loud roar, his voice shook the sky. He did not leave and continued to attack the giant ape. Boom, boom, boom. Both of his fists continued to bombard the giant ape, causing it to explode. This made many people gasp in shock. Every single one of these giant apes was extremely powerful and difficult to deal with. But now, this person had blasted the giant ape apart. You think you can compete with me for the inheritance of the Hunyuan sect? You're overestimating yourselves. The black-robed young man exuded primal chaos chi as he spoke coldly. He was like a proud god. Then he took a step forward and disappeared. Is this the battle prowess of the chaotic body? Lu Ming's eyes were solemn. But there was no time to think. The 4 of them flashed and dodged the attacks of the giant apes. With their battle prowess, they were no match for these giant apes. If they were hit, they would probably be killed with a single slap. Let me help you. Bubbles' tender voice rang out. The law of space-time enveloped Lu Ming, Huang Ling, and Long Chen. The law of space-time was profound. The speed of the 3 of them immediately increased. They flashed and dodged the attacks of the giant apes. Soon, they rushed out of the territory. Once they rushed out of the territory, the giant apes stopped attacking. They only blocked them in the territory. People constantly rushed past, but there were even more people who were killed. In a short period of time, Lu Ming saw at least a few hundred people killed. These were all peerless geniuses from various regions. They were not ordinary geniuses. Their potential was extremely shocking. They would have no problem reaching the emperor realm in the future. They could be said to be future martial emperors. But now, they were constantly being killed. Retreat! Retreat! Some people were scared and retreated outside the gate. Since you don't dare to move forward, I'll send you back. The white-robed old man waved his hand and the retreating youths were all sent out of the place. As a result, there were some people who were unwilling to give up. They did everything they could to charge forward. There were people who died here, but there were also people who continued to charge past. Let's go! Immediately, Lu Ming's group of 4 rose into the air and flew forward. However, they didn't fly very far before they stopped. Up ahead, there was a deep abyss blocking their path. All the young geniuses who had reached this place stopped. There was also a white-haired old man standing in the air above the abyss. This white-robed old man looked exactly the same as the one from before. It was clear that this was not a physical body, but a projection. It could appear in different places at the same time. This abyss can't be crossed. Only when everyone is here can we cross it using a special method. The white-robed old man said. No one doubted the white-robed old man's words. The white-robed old man was unfathomable and unfathomable. Moreover, since ancient times, countless people had entered this place. Many successors of large factions understood this point. Only by following the rules of this place and passing through the checkpoints could they reach the end and obtain great benefits. Bam! At this moment, a tall figure appeared in front of Lu Ming, Huang Ling, and the others. A terrifying aura pressed down on them. The expressions of Lu Ming and the others changed. This was because this young man was the genius who used the law of primal chaos and was suspected to have the chaotic body. The terrifying aura forced Lu Ming and the others to release their auras to resist. The law of primal chaos also flowed around Lu Ming's body, attracting everyone's attention. The law of primal chaos. 2 people have grasped the law of primal chaos. Many people exclaimed in shock. A great era is coming. Many peerless geniuses will have their fated enemies appear. Someone said solemnly. Those who controlled the 10 supreme laws were not invincible. They would encounter other experts who controlled the same supreme laws or even experts who controlled the same laws. The 10 supreme laws could not be controlled by only one person. In a great era, there might be 2 or even 3 people who could control them. Such people were known as fated enemies. A mountain could not accommodate 2 tigers. Such a great enemy was destined to have a victor. Only by stepping on the corpse of the opponent could one reach the strongest. Of course, all of this was just a legend because there were too few people who could control the 10 supreme laws. In ordinary times, it was difficult for one to appear in tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years, let alone several people who could control the same law at the same time. However, when a great era was coming and geniuses rose, it was different. The black-robed young man looked coldly at Lu Ming and said, "The person who entered the primal chaos hall before me was you, right?" As expected, this person really did have the chaotic body. He had also seen Lu Ming using the law of primal chaos. That's right. Since he had been seen, it was useless to deny it. He might as well admit it. Very good. A sliver of excitement and fanaticism flashed through the chaotic body's eyes. He stared at Lu Ming and said, "Now hand over the primal chaos scripture and cripple your own cultivation. In this world, only I can control the laws of primal chaos. No one else is worthy." The chaotic body's voice was filled with great confidence and pride. In this world, only he could control the laws of primal chaos. No one else was worthy. If there was, they should be killed or crippled. What a joke. Who do you think you are? Lu Ming sneered. How could he agree to cripple his own cultivation, even if the chaotic body's battle prowess was terrifying? If you don't agree, then die. The chaotic body said coldly. His presence became even more powerful. He took a step forward and a violent presence pressed down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face changed, and he retreated. "Brother Lu Ming!" Bubbles called out and stepped forward. She erupted with her presence to help Lu Ming fend off the chaotic body. The laws of space-time? That's fine too. Let's kill them together. The chaotic body sneered. Bang, bang. At this moment, Huang Ling and Long Chen also stepped forward and stood side by side with Lu Ming. All of you back off. This has nothing to do with you. Lu Ming said. The chaotic body was too strong. Even if they joined forces, they were no match for him. There was no hope at all. The chaotic body was only targeting him. He did not want to implicate Long Chen, Huang Ling, and Bubbles. Lu Ming, do you think I'm such a person? Huang Ling glanced at Lu Ming with a determined gaze. Long Chen did not say anything, but his actions spoke volumes. Hee, you're quite loyal. Then I'll kill you all. The chaotic body said coldly and stepped forward. On the side, the others watched coldly. It was good that Lu Ming and the others were killed. In the future, there would be one less great enemy. Chapter 1772. Boom. The chaotic body struck out with a palm. The laws of chaos flowed, forming a huge chaotic hand that grabbed at Lu Ming and the others. The terrifying pressure made everyone's expression change. Without a doubt, the chaotic body's cultivation was at the level of an absolute saint. Moreover, it was the chaotic body. How terrifying was its battle prowess? It was simply unimaginable. Unbeatable. At this moment, such a sentence appeared in Lu Ming's mind. Only death awaited if they tried to block it head-on. Retreat! Lu Ming roared. The four of them frantically retreated to avoid the power of the palm. Do you think you can escape? The chaotic body said coldly. With a flash, it appeared behind Lu Ming and threw a punch. It was as fast as lightning, so fast that Lu Ming couldn't block it. The difference in their cultivation was just too great. Lu Ming! Huang Ling cried out. Long Chen and Bubbles were also extremely anxious. However, the difference in their cultivation was just too great. Even if they wanted to help, it would be useless. Boom! The chaotic body's fist directly pierced through Lu Ming's body. However, Lu Ming was completely fine. Lu Ming's body was like an illusion. The chaotic body's fist seemed to have hit the air. What's going on? The chaotic body roared and threw another punch. However, it still hit the air. Lu Ming's body was like an illusion. You can't fight here. The white-robed old man said in the sky. I see. Many people's hearts skipped a beat. They couldn't fight here. They couldn't attack each other at all. Huang Ling and Long Chen let out a long breath. They really thought that Lu Ming was about to be killed by the chaotic body. The chaotic body retreated with a cold face. His expression was very ugly. You're lucky, but you'll die at my hands sooner or later. The chaotic body said coldly. You're just relying on your higher cultivation. In the future, I'll definitely kill you. Cold killing intent shot out from Lu Ming's eyes. Only one of them could live in this world. If they met in the future, there would definitely be a tragic battle. There would be no room for negotiation. You're just a fake son of chaos. You'll never be a match for me in your entire life, said the chaotic body proudly. He had the right to be proud. He possessed the chaotic body, a true child of chaos. He was blessed by the heavens and possessed great fortune. As long as he reached half-saint, he would naturally be able to grasp the laws of chaos. And what was Lu Ming? Even if he had grasped the laws of primal chaos, how could he compare to him? He did not possess the chaotic body. Lu Ming didn't say anything else. What was the point of saying anything now? In the future, Lu Ming would use his actions to tell the world who the true son of chaos was. As they continued to wait, more and more people arrived. Before long, there were already more than 2,000 people in the vicinity of the abyss. Previously, there were more than 3,000 people, but now, there were only about 2,000 people left. They had lost about 1,000 people. Some of them were killed, while others were sent back to where they came from. At this moment, the white-robed elder waved his hand, and a row of stone platforms appeared at the edge of the abyss, floating in the air. There were more than 2,000 people, about the same number as them. They were lined up side by side. The method to cross the abyss is very simple. Each of you will choose a stone platform and sit on it. Then I will explain the Tao while you comprehend. As you comprehend, the stone platform will float forward. The faster you comprehend and the more you comprehend, the faster the stone platform will float forward. In the end, only the top 100 people can continue to the next step of the test. As for the rest, I will send you back. The white-robed elder explained the rules. What? Only the top 100 people can continue? Someone exclaimed. This ratio was just too low. After all, those who could come here were all prodigies among prodigies. They weren't ordinary cultivators. How could it be easy to stand out among these people? Moreover, everyone understood that what was tested here wasn't battle prowess, but comprehension. After all, the prodigies here had a difference in age, background, and cultivation. Comparing battle prowess was meaningless. It was a competition of potential. Comprehension was a part of potential. I'll definitely be in the top 100. I'll definitely be in the top 100. Some of the youths were very confident that they would be able to enter the top 100. All right, you can go up and choose any stone platform you like. Every stone is the same. The white-robed elder said. Bush, bush, bush. Immediately, someone flew up and landed on a stone platform. Lu Ming and the other three also stepped forward, each chose a stone platform, and sat down cross-legged. The stone platforms were very small, only allowing one person. Looking out of the stone platforms, there was a dark abyss below. No one knew how deep it was. Soon, more than 2,000 people all landed on the stone platforms. All right, I'll begin my Tao preaching now. The white-robed elder said. In the next moment his body emitted a bright light, and divine rings surrounded him. Then, the white-robed elder spoke word by word. Every word was incomparably mysterious. It turned into the sound of the great Tao and entered everyone's ears. Hearing this sound, Lu Ming's spirit seemed to calm down, and he fell into a state of emptiness. The sound of the great Tao continued to enter his ears. The white-robed elder was not talking about any kind of Tao or law. What he was talking about was the truth of heaven and earth, the truth of martial arts, and the truth of the heavenly Tao. This truth could be compatible with any law, and it depended purely on one's comprehension. In Lu Ming's mind, he seemed to see the experience of a peerless powerhouse. From a weak youth, he went on a crusade step by step, and finally rose to become a peak powerhouse. In his mind, the phantom of the primal chaos emperor became even more mysterious. The law of primal chaos flowed, and Lu Ming's comprehension became even clearer. In his dantian, the two sacred hearts kept beating like real hearts. Vigorous sacred power constantly poured out of the sacred hearts and into the meridians of his body. Lu Ming completely forgot about everything in the outside world. He forgot the purpose of his visit and forgot the time. He only had one goal, and that was to cultivate and comprehend. As everyone comprehended, the stone platforms began to fly forward. In the first 3 days, everyone was walking side by side, and there was not much of a gap. But from the 3rd day onwards, a gap began to appear. Some people began to fall behind, and some people became faster and faster, surpassing the others. As time passed, the gap between everyone grew bigger and bigger. However, Lu Ming, Bubbles, Huang Ling, and Long Chen were still in the top 100. Bubbles was a real space-time spirit mouse. Needless to say, its comprehension was naturally high. If it fully matured, it would be a peak existence in the world, and not many people could rival it. Huang Ling and Long Chen had awakened the bloodlines of the top 10 battle beasts. Needless to say, their comprehension was also terrifying. As for Lu Ming, needless to say. Chapter 1773. In the process of everyone comprehending and cultivating endless heaven and earth, yuan qi poured into their bodies, and everyone's aura was rapidly increasing. Of course, the faster the speed, the greater the benefits of those at the front. Half a month later, Lu Ming's aura swelled. He had broken through. Lu Ming was originally in the Greater Bright Saint Realm, but now he had broken through to the peak of the Bright Saint Realm. In just half a month, Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through. This speed was shocking. At this time, there were only a few people who could keep pace with Lu Ming. The genius of the Thunder Clan, the Chaotic Body, and the genius who had mastered the law of death. There were also a few other geniuses who were also very terrifying. They were at the front with Lu Ming and the others. Time passed day by day. A month later, Lu Ming's speed increased again, surpassing the others in one fell swoop, and was in the lead. Of course, they were unaware of this. Everyone was wholeheartedly comprehending and cultivating. After Lu Ming was in the lead, he had not been overtaken. Moreover, the gap between him and the people behind was slowly widening. After they cultivated and comprehended for a month and a half, Lu Ming's cultivation made another breakthrough, reaching the Great Bright Saint realm. In just a month and a half, Lu Ming's cultivation had crossed 2 levels. The effect was shocking. This had something to do with Lu Ming's low cultivation. The lower the cultivation, the faster the breakthrough. The higher the cultivation, the more difficult it would be to break through. Reaching the Supreme Saint realm or even the Absolute Saint realm, the breakthrough was much more difficult than reaching the Bright Saint realm. If Lu Ming's cultivation was at the Supreme Saint realm or the Absolute Saint realm, it would not be so easy to break through. Lu Ming's stone platform was getting closer and closer to the other side of the abyss. After another half a month, Lu Ming's stone platform finally reached the other side of the abyss. At this time, the sound of the great Tao in the sky completely disappeared. Wake up! The voice of the white-robed elder was like a morning bell, striking the hearts of everyone. Everyone woke up from their comprehension. Is it over? Someone muttered softly, feeling a bit reluctant to part. In that state of enlightenment, it was just too awesome. Not only were his laws improved, but even his martial arts cultivation was improving by leaps and bounds. It was comparable to several years of bitter cultivation. My cultivation has broken through. My laws have also broken through. Excited voices could be heard one after another. Everyone was the same. The moment they woke up, they felt the changes in their bodies. My cultivation has reached the perfect stage of the bright sacred realm. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Moreover, he was not far away from the great saint stage. The primal chaos calamity finger has also reached 50%. What made Lu Ming even happier was that his primal chaos tribulation finger had also advanced by leaps and bounds, reaching 50% completion. The further one progressed, the more difficult it would be to cultivate. The time required would also increase exponentially. To be able to reach 50% from 40% was already very fast. Moreover, he cultivated the law of primal chaos. After feeling the changes in his body, Lu Ming looked at the others. With a glance, he found that his stone platform was in first place. Behind him were the chaotic body and the son of death. There were a few other people behind them. Behind them were Long Chen, Huang Ling, Bubbles, and the others. While Lu Ming was looking at the others were also looking at each other. However, almost at the same time, everyone looked at Lu Ming. This was because Lu Ming was far in the lead and had reached the other side. It was too eye-catching. It's him, the son of chaos. He's actually in the lead, surpassing the chaotic body and the son of death. It's amazing. I didn't expect him to get first place. I'm finished. I'm behind the 100th place. Above the abyss, voices sounded one after another. Everyone's ranking was clear at a glance. Many people could not help but sigh when they found that they were behind the 100th place. Some people found that they were ranked last, and their faces turned even uglier. If they were ranked last, didn't that mean that their comprehension was the worst and their potential was the worst? Brother Lu Ming, you're so amazing. Chirp chirp. Bubbles cried out. She was so excited that she almost danced with joy. Lu Ming smiled and looked at the chaotic body. However, he saw that the chaotic body's gaze was as cold as a sword. Now, who is more qualified to grasp the laws of primal chaos? Lu Ming said indifferently. These words made the chaotic body's face turn even gloomier. Earlier he had said that Lu Ming was not qualified to grasp the laws of primal chaos. In the world, only he could grasp the laws of primal chaos. How arrogant and insufferably arrogant was he! But now he was surpassed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming led the crowd and was the first to reach the other side. If Lu Ming was not qualified, who was? It's just a competition of comprehension. It doesn't mean anything. Moreover, the time is short. If we continue, I'll definitely be able to surpass you. The chaotic body said coldly. A loss is a loss. Why are you deceiving yourself here? Lu Ming sneered disdainfully. The chaotic body's eyes shone even brighter. It was as if his gaze was about to turn into a sword and pierce through Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming was not afraid at all. He stared back at him. The child of death did not say anything. He only looked at Lu Ming curiously. All right, now that the top 100 have come out, I'll send the rest back. The white-robed old man said. Many people sighed. They were unwilling to accept this. The white-robed old man waved his hand and a large number of light pillars appeared, enveloping the figures. Then, those figures disappeared in the light pillars. There were only 100 people left. The stone platforms that did not reach the other side also flew forward and leaned against the other side. All right, you can continue. There are still tests waiting for you ahead. If you can pass the tests, your harvest will be equally great. Go. The white-robed old man's voice rang out. Then he disappeared. Everyone flew up and stepped onto the other side of the abyss. The chaotic body emitted a powerful aura. He looked at Lu Ming coldly. If he could fight here, he would kill Lu Ming without hesitation. Lu Ming looked at him coldly. With a sneer, the chaotic body rose into the air and flew forward. The others did the same and flew forward. Not long after, a towering mountain appeared in front of them. On the mountain, there was an incomparably huge palace. Everyone approached and found that there was a huge stone tablet at the bottom of the mountain. On the stone tablet, there were 3 big words, Hunyuan Sect. Everyone was solemn. They had arrived at the Hunyuan Sect. Behind the stone tablet, there was a flight of stairs. No one knew how long it was and how many steps there were. At this moment, the white-robed old man appeared again and said, This is the mountain gate of the Hunyuan Sect. If you want to go up, you must follow the stairs step by step. This is respect for the Hunyuan Sect. If there is anyone who is disrespectful, I will send him back. You can go up. Chapter 1774. As soon as the white-robed old man finished speaking, his figure disappeared. Everyone stepped forward and stepped onto the stairs. Lu Ming and the other 3 also stepped onto the stairs respectively. The stairs were nothing out of the ordinary. To them, it was like a flat ground. If they used their movement techniques, they would be able to reach the top of the mountain in a few steps. However, everyone remembered the white-robed old man's words. They had to step up step by step. Otherwise, they would be eliminated. Lu Ming and the others walked up step by step unhurriedly. However, the stairs were really very tall. There were at least 100,000 steps. They had walked continuously for a few hours and had only stepped a small part of it. Why do we need to take one step at a time on such an ordinary staircase? At that moment, a young man snorted coldly. He seemed to be a little impatient. Then, he took a step forward and crossed over 10,000 steps in an instant. He was far ahead of the others. You idiots, take your time. I'll go first. The young man's face was filled with joy. He looked at the others with disdain. Then, he took another step forward and crossed over 10,000 steps. However, this time, before he could be happy, a beam of light suddenly appeared and shrouded him. No, that person shouted. In the next moment, his figure disappeared as he was teleported out. You think you're smart? You're the idiot. Someone sneered. Next, no one dared to imitate that young man. They all climbed up step by step. If it was an ordinary person, they might not be able to climb more than 100,000 steps in 10 days. However, it was not too difficult for them. A little more than a day later, they stepped onto the top of the mountain. At the top of the mountain, there was a magnificent palace. At a glance, it was impossible to see the end of it. They appeared on a broad piece of land. In front of them was the door of a palace. At that moment, the door was open. Everyone pondered for a moment and stepped into the palace. They walked along a passage and finally arrived at a strange place. The first thing that came into view was a few hundred stone pillars. There was a strange fluctuation coming from the stone pillars. In front of the stone pillars was a huge battle platform. At that moment, the white-robed old man's figure appeared again. "Didn't you want to fight? Now, I'll give you a chance to fight." The white-robed old man's voice rang out. These words caused many people's eyes to burst with a bright light. In particular, the chaotic body looked at Lu Ming with an extremely cold gaze and a vicious smile. "Now, let's see how you'll die," the chaotic body murmured. However, Lu Ming remained calm. He didn't believe that there would be no restrictions. If that was the case, there would be no need for them to compete. They could just go back. No one in the Bright Saint stage could fight against a Saint stage cultivator, not to mention that the other party was a rare genius. As expected, the white-robed old man's voice rang out again. "However, this battle must be fair. I will seal your true origin and seal your cultivation at the Bright Saint small success stage. Moreover, the strength of your saint energy will be the same. On top of that, I'll seal off all your rules, martial arts, martial skills, and spiritual bodies, so everyone will be on the same level." Many people's expressions changed. According to what the white-robed elder had said, almost all of their means had been sealed, and their saint powers were the same. How could they compete? Do you see those stone pillars? There's a secret technique on each stone pillar. Later on, you can choose a stone pillar and comprehend the secret technique on it. I'll give you half a month. After half a month, your battle techniques will depend on the secret technique that you've comprehended on the stone pillars. The white-robed elder continued to explain. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Indeed, this was the fairest way. Everyone would be sealed at the same level and then rely on the secret technique that they had comprehended on the stone pillars to fight against their opponents. The harvest in this half a month would directly determine one's combat strength. At this moment, the white-robed elder emitted a mysterious fluctuation. Then, a force surged into everyone's body. This force was high and mighty, and they couldn't resist it. It directly sealed everything that they had. My saint energy is really only at the Bright Saint small success stage. You can't use your laws either. You can't use your divine abilities or martial skills either. My spiritual body is only equivalent to an inferior heaven spiritual body. Voices rang out. Everyone realized that they had really been sealed. Other than the Bright Saint small success stage saint energy, they couldn't use anything else. Only one of my saint hearts can operate. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. This white-robed elder was definitely an unimaginable existence. Although he was just a projection, his methods were hard to predict. Then, the elder waved his hand, and various kinds of auras erupted from the stone pillars. There were soaring sword will, dazzling saber radiance, fist technique aura, palm technique aura. There were all kinds of auras. Everyone's eyes lit up. In such a competition, the choice of secret technique would be very particular. Choosing a secret technique that one was familiar with, one would naturally have to be faster to comprehend it. Only then would one have the upper hand in the battle half a month later. There were two main aspects to this battle. The first aspect was naturally the comprehension that one had gained in the past half a month. The second aspect was one's combat awareness. The stronger one's combat awareness was, the more likely one would be to win against someone of the same cultivation level. Don't worry and comprehend on the stone pillars. No one is to disturb you. The white-robed old man added, telling everyone to relax and not to worry about being attacked by others during the process of comprehending. Swoosh! A young man leaped onto a stone platform that was filled with sword will and sat down cross-legged. That stone platform belongs to me. Then, another person leaped onto a stone platform that was filled with saber technique aura. Of course, there was more than one stone platform that was filled with sword will or saber technique aura. Lu Ming and the other three also leaped onto the stone platforms to search for suitable secret techniques. Lu Ming leaped onto a stone platform that was filled with terrifying spear will. Since he started cultivating, he had spent the longest time cultivating spear techniques and had the deepest understanding of spear techniques. Choosing a stone platform that was filled with spear will would give him the most benefits. Lu Ming immediately sat down cross-legged. The stone platform glowed and a light screen enveloped him. No one could disturb him. Coiling Dragon Spear. When Lu Ming closed his eyes, a voice rang in Lu Ming's mind. Then, the surrounding environment changed. Lu Ming seemed to have come to a vast land. In the sky, a figure was flying and dancing. The long spear in his hand danced like a true dragon. Lu Ming observed carefully. An hour later, Lu Ming seemed to have understood something. He condensed a long spear in his hand and began to practice. Whoosh whoosh, the long spear danced like a true dragon. The wind whistled and the power was astonishing. After cultivating for a while, Lu Ming stopped and continued to observe the figure in the sky. Chapter 1775. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye, and the figure wielding the spear in the sky disappeared. "Wake up!" A voice rang in Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming shuddered and retreated from the vast land. He opened his eyes. Everyone was the same, stopping their cultivation. Half a month has passed. The duel will begin now. The duel is simple. 100 of you will step onto the battle platform at the same time and engage in a melee. Those who fall off the platform or are killed will be eliminated. The last 20 people standing on the platform will advance to the next round. The white-robed elder announced the rules. Many people's eyes flickered. Only 20 out of 100 people could advance. Moreover, it would be a melee, which was much more complicated. "Now let's begin," the white-robed elder announced. Push, push, push. One figure after another rushed onto the platform. The platform was huge. It was spacious even when 100 people stepped on it. The 100 people stood on their own and looked around cautiously. It was a melee. Everyone was an enemy. For a moment, no one made a move. The best choice now was to wait for others to fight while they reserved their strength and reaped the benefits. The atmosphere became heavy. The white-robed elder was not in a hurry. He watched quietly. Bang! The sound of a foot stepping on the platform was heard. The chaotic body looked at Lu Ming with undisguised cold killing intent. "Kid, I'll kill you now." The chaotic body walked towards Lu Ming step by step. "You're the one who's going to die." Lu Ming's eyes were filled with strong battle intent. Saint Force surged in his hand and condensed into a spear. He also stepped out and walked towards the chaotic body. Lu Ming was not afraid of anyone at the same level. Boom! Before Lu Ming and the chaotic body could fight, the battle had already begun on the other side. Even though the Death Sun was suppressed, he was still very powerful. He took the lead and attacked a genius. He completely suppressed his opponent. In just a few moves, his opponent coughed out blood and was blasted off the platform. After being blasted off the platform, the youth was shrouded in a beam of light and left the place. This caused many people to look extremely solemn. Apparently, the Son of Death's comprehension was amazing. In just half a month, he had cultivated a secret technique to an extremely profound level. Moreover, the Son of Death's battle awareness was astonishing, completely crushing the previous genius. The Son of Death's attack broke the deadlock, and the others followed suit. A chaotic battle broke out at this moment. Some people charged towards Long Chen, Huang Ling and Bubble. Mountain suppressing fist, kill. At this moment, the Son of Chaos arrived in front of Lu Ming and punched out. The fist energy erupted, forming a huge mountain that pressed down on Lu Ming. This was a secret technique that the Son of Chaos had comprehended during this half a month. It was a type of fist technique. Once the might of his fist was unleashed, it would form a huge mountain that crushed down on the enemy. Its aura was shocking and incomparably domineering. With a dragon's roar, Lu Ming pierced out with the spear in his hand. The spear immediately transformed into a true dragon and pounced out. The dragon's claws stepped on the air and bombarded the mountain. Boom! With a terrifying explosion, the true dragon and the mountain both exploded. Terrifying strength chi spilled out in all directions, causing the expressions of the people around to become extremely grave. What a powerful force! Many people exclaimed at the side. Lu Ming had just exchanged a move with the Son of Chaos, and its power had already surpassed many people. Kill! The Son of Chaos roared. His aura was extremely domineering as he punched out with both fists continuously with an indomitable aura. Boom! Boom! Boom. The sky was boiling. Many huge mountains were formed, pressing toward Lu Ming. Buzz. The spear in Lu Ming's hand trembled and turned into rays of spear light that shot out explosively. The spear light formed true dragons in the air, roaring as they charged forward and collided with the mountains constantly. Terrifying strength chi spilled out in all directions. In the area where the two of them were fighting, the others hurriedly retreated, afraid of being implicated. The two of them were fated enemies, and a battle of life and death was inevitable. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had already exchanged over 100 moves. The Son of Chaos was indeed terrifying. In just half a month, he had already cultivated a secret technique to an extremely profound level. Moreover, his battle awareness was very strong. Every move was terrifyingly powerful. Even at the same level, others could not block more than a few moves. The more they fought, the more intense it became. At this point, the two of them had basically turned into blurs as they constantly clashed on the stage. Lu Ming's eyes shone resplendently as he constantly stabbed out with his spear. The more they fought, the deeper his comprehension of the coiling dragon spear became. At this moment, he slowly began to gain the upper hand. The Son of Chaos roared and fought with all his might, but he could not change this. He began to be suppressed by Lu Ming. He was unable to accept this, and his face became extremely ugly. Swish, swish, swish. The spear in Lu Ming's hand seemed to turn into a streak of light. It moved faster and faster as it became more and more powerful. Often, a single sweep of the spear would be enough to break through the Son of Chaos's attacks. When the spear stabbed out, it was aimed at the Son of Chaos's vitals, forcing him to dodge. The Son of Chaos began to retreat to the edge of the stage. The Son of Chaos is about to lose. Many people glanced at this scene from the corner of their eyes and were shocked. The Son of Chaos was actually no match for someone of the same level. Of course, this so-called battle of the same level was not a true battle of the same level. The Son of Chaos could not even use the advantage of his physique. However, this was enough to demonstrate just how terrifying Lu Ming was. He did not possess the Son of Chaos, but he could comprehend the laws of chaos. His comprehension ability was truly astonishing. This thought flashed through many people's minds. The Son of Chaos is only SOS. You only know how to use your higher cultivation to suppress others. Who do you think you are in a battle of the same level? Lu Ming's mocking voice made the Son of Chaos's face sink even more. Due to a moment of carelessness, he was swept by Lu Ming's spear. A wound appeared on his body as blood flowed. Gradually, the Son of Chaos retreated to the edge of the stage. If he retreated any further, he would fall off. Everyone, why don't we work together and knock this Lu Ming off the stage? This person was ranked first in the abyss before. His comprehension ability is astonishing. If this continues, no one will be able to match him. At this moment, the Son of Chaos roared. He actually wanted the others to work with him. For this, he even said that Lu Ming's comprehension ability was astonishing. Previously, he was high and mighty, believing himself to be the true Son of Chaos. He looked down on Lu Ming, but now he was praising Lu Ming. This made him feel extremely humiliated. However, in order to defeat Lu Ming and eliminate Lu Ming, he could only do this. Immediately, the eyes of a few powerful prodigies flickered. Indeed, although Lu Ming's cultivation was not high, his potential was astonishing. When he was ranked first in the abyss before, he had attracted the attention of many prodigies. Now, in a battle of the same level, he could suppress the Son of Chaos. If this continued, no one would be his match. These prodigies had all come for the Hunyuan sect's legacy, so they naturally wanted to be first. They did not wish to be suppressed. Swish. A white-robed young man repelled his opponent with a single move and charged towards Lu Ming. Chapter 1776. The white-robed young man was as fast as lightning. In an instant, he charged towards Lu Ming. A snow-white sword light shone from his hand, enveloping Lu Ming. This person was very powerful. Lu Ming had to be careful. With a tremble of his spear, it turned into streaks of light and stabbed out. Ding, ding. Ding! A series of collisions rang out. The white-robed young man was slightly pushed back, blocked by Lu Ming. However, this gave the chaotic body a chance to catch his breath. With a roar, he constantly threw out punches towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming swept out with his spear, blocking the attack. However, on the other side, the white-robed young man charged towards Lu Ming again. Despicable! Nearby, Huang Ling cried out with her eyes wide open. The chaotic body was truly despicable. Earlier he had acted all high and mighty. Now that he could not defeat Lu Ming, he sought help from others. Huang Ling had previously cultivated a palm technique. When she struck out with her palm, she produced terrifying flames that forced her opponent back. Huang Ling attacked with all her might. The force of her palm was unstoppable. She did not give her opponent any chance to catch his breath. On the other side, Long Chen had also completely suppressed his opponent. He cultivated a fist technique. Every punch he sent out was unstoppable. It was no weaker than the chaotic body. His opponent was also being suppressed and forced to retreat. Bastard, get down. I'm going to help brother Lu Ming. Chirp. Bubble's speed was extremely shocking. She circled around a young prodigy like a streak of light. With a flick of her fingers, terrifying wind blades constantly shot towards her opponent. Her opponent was in an extremely sorry state. He was covered in wounds and blood flowed. The young man simply wanted to roar at the sky. He was extremely frustrated. As a prodigy, he was usually high and mighty. No matter where he went, he would be surrounded. However, he had now been forced into such a state by a 2- or 3-year-old girl. It was truly humiliating. Soon, he was struck by one of Bubble's wind blades. He spat out a mouthful of blood and was blasted off the stage. "Brother Lu Ming, let me help you," Bubble exclaimed, and her figure flickered as she charged towards Lu Ming. She flicked her fingers, and wind blades flew out to block the white-robed youth's attack. The white-robed youth's expression turned cold. Sword light erupted, and dense sword chi slashed at the Bubble. Bubbles flicked her fingers continuously, forming countless wind blades to resist the opponent. When the white-robed youth had crossed the dark abyss, he had been in the same group as Bubble. His talent might not have been greater than Bubble's, and now that they were engaged in an intense battle, he could only fight to a draw with Bubble. Get out! With one less opponent, Lu Ming focused all his attention on the chaotic body. With a sweep of his spear, he directly destroyed the opponent's attack and almost sent the chaotic body flying. Bush, bush. Afterwards, Lu Ming launched a barrage of attacks at the chaotic body. The terrifying blurs of the spear completely drowned out his opponent. Bang! After a few moves, the chaotic body was struck by Lu Ming's spear. He vomited blood and staggered a few steps back, almost falling off the stage. Kill! Kill! At this moment, 2 more roars rang out. 2 prodigies charged at Lu Ming and launched terrifying attacks at Lu Ming. Clearly, they wanted to work together and defeat Lu Ming first. But at this moment, 2 figures charged out and blocked the 2 of them. They were Huang Ling and Long Chen. They had defeated their opponents and had come to assist Lu Ming. "No one can help you. Get out." Lu Ming took advantage of the situation to launch a barrage of attacks. Although the chaotic body tried its best to block, it was struck by Lu Ming's spear after a dozen moves. The sound of bones breaking rang out as the chaotic body was sent flying out of the stage. Lu Ming is outside. "Don't let me see you, or I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death." The chaotic body roared furiously. His voice was filled with reluctance. He was the mighty chaotic body, yet he had been eliminated before he could reach the end. Moreover, the person who had eliminated him was his destined enemy. "Outside, I'll kill you." Lu Ming's reply was very simple. A pillar of light formed and enveloped the chaotic body. Under his unwilling gaze, he was sent out. He felt extremely aggrieved. He possessed great cultivation and terrifying battle prowess, but he was unable to use them at all. Under such circumstances, he had been defeated by Lu Ming. If he could use his full strength, he could kill Lu Ming with a single slap. Many people were shocked. The chaotic body, known as one of the Elysian children, had been defeated by Lu Ming just like that. Although this kind of defeat was under the circumstances of completely suppressing some mystiques and spirit bodies, it was enough to explain a lot of problems. Although Lu Ming did not possess the true chaotic body, it was still unknown who would emerge victorious in this fated battle regarding the law of chaos. Retreat. The white-robed young man was surprised when he saw the chaotic body being struck off the stage. He quickly retreated. You want to retreat now? It's too late. Lu Ming's cold voice rang out. He took a few steps forward and blocked his opponent's path of retreat. He stabbed out with his spear. With Lu Ming and Bubbles working together, the opponent could not resist at all. In just a few moves, he was heavily injured and was struck off the stage. Next, Lu Ming and Bubbles turned their attention to the other two people who were fighting Huang Ling and Long Qin. With the four of them working together, the result was already decided. The other two were also struck off the stage. One by one, they were eliminated. At this moment, more than 50 people had been eliminated. There were less than 50 people left on the stage. Many people looked at Lu Ming's group of four with ugly expressions. If Lu Ming's group of four worked together, no one would be able to defeat them. However, Lu Ming's group of four did not fight. They just stood together and watched the others fight calmly. No one else dared to provoke Lu Ming's group. The battle continued, and people were constantly being eliminated. In the blink of an eye, a few hours had passed. When a tall, burly young man was struck off the stage, there were only 20 people left on the stage. The 20 people stood in different directions, watching the others. The Death Sun was also among them. With his combat strength, as long as he was not besieged by many people, it would not be difficult for him to stay until the end. Well, the 20 of you have advanced to the next stage. Next, there is one last stage. If you can pass it, you can get your opportunity. The white-robed elder said. With a wave of his hand, a bridge was formed, extending from the stage to the front. There was a light door there. Everyone stepped out, walked along the bridge, and walked into the light door. When Lu Ming stepped into the light door, he felt dizzy. His vision turned black, and his consciousness was blurred. After a long time, Lu Ming regained consciousness. It hurts, it hurts. The first thing Lu Ming felt when he woke up was pain. It was as if all the bones in his body were broken. There was a constant tearing pain coming from all over his body. Lu Ming opened his eyes with difficulty. Then he saw a petite, cute face, blinking her big eyes, looking at him. It was a very cute girl, about 13 or 14 years old. She was dressed in coarse clothes, and she looked at Lu Ming curiously. Seeing Lu Ming open his eyes, the girl's face lit up. She cried out, he's awake, big brother is awake." Chapter 1777. After the young lady ran out, Lu Ming then started to look around. It was a stone house with walls made of stone. There was nothing in the room except for a bed and a table. It was very simple. Where am I? Lu Ming was puzzled. He remembered that he was taking the test in the Hunyuan sect and finally stepped into a light door and lost consciousness. How did he appear here when he woke up? Could this be the final test? But what was this test about? Lu Ming looked at himself and saw that he was covered in bandages. He was even more speechless. He was sure that he was injured, and seriously injured. All the bones in his body were broken, and his muscles were severely injured. Bursts of stinging pain came constantly. Moreover, Lu Ming found that there was not a trace of saint power in his body. He could not summon it, let alone control the laws. He was now an ordinary person who was seriously injured. Is this really the last test? Lu Ming was quite speechless. At this time, footsteps sounded and a few people came in. It was a tall and sturdy middle-aged man. His exposed arms were extremely thick and strong, and they were covered with scars. Beside him was a middle-aged woman. Behind them was the cute girl from before. "Little brother, you're finally awake. You've been unconscious for 3 days and 3 nights. The middle-aged man said in a deep voice. 3 days and 3 nights? Lu Ming was even more confused. He had no recollection of this. Big brother, what exactly happened to me? How did I get so seriously injured? Lu Ming asked. Since he was not sure, He might as well ask and maybe find some clues. My father was hunting in the Beast God Mountain range and found you. At that time, you were already seriously injured and unconscious. You must have been attacked by fierce beasts. You are really brave, to dare to go to the Beast God Mountain range alone. The girl said before the middle-aged man could speak. Beast God Mountain range? Lu Ming was confused. He had no recollection of this. Maybe this was arranged by the white-robed old man. Maybe this was just an illusion. This should be the last test. But what was the test about? Lu Ming was very puzzled. He did not understand why such an arrangement was made. Little brother, rest assured and recuperate. Your injuries are too severe. It will take a long time for you to fully recover. If you need anything in the future, just let me know. The middle-aged man said straightforwardly and generously. Thank you, big brother, for saving my life. I will never forget it. Lu Ming wanted to cup his fists, but as soon as he moved his hands, he pulled at his wounds. A tearing pain came, causing him to suck in a breath of cold air. Little brother, don't move. Just focus on recuperating. The middle-aged man smiled. After that, the middle-aged man and the middle-aged woman left. The young girl brought a bowl of medicine from outside and fed it to Lu Ming. What's your name? Lu Ming asked. My name is Xiahua. My father is Jianghu. Big brother, what's your name? Xiahua blinked her eyes as she looked at Lu Ming. She was still very curious as to why Lu Ming would go to the Beast God Mountain range alone. That was a very dangerous place. I'm Lu Ming. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming? I'll call you Big Brother Lu. I'll call you Daddy separately. I don't want to call you Uncle. You don't look old. Xiahua mumbled. It's fine. Lu Ming smiled. Next, Lu Ming recuperated here. As the days passed, Lu Ming's injuries slowly improved. Half a month later, Lu Ming could get out of bed and walk. In front of the stone house, Lu Ming leaned against the wall and looked around. There were many stone houses in this area. Lu Ming learned that this was a tribe. There were not many people in this tribe, only a little more than 1,000. They were very simple and lived by hunting. Lu Ming felt as if he had returned to the ancient times. What surprised Lu Ming was that the people in the tribe were very strong. The adult men's strength was comparable to a first-layer martial emperor expert. Some of them were even stronger and had reached the Saint Realm, such as Xiahua's father, Jianghu. There was a hunting team in the tribe that often went out to hunt. Last time, Lu Ming was found by the hunting team in the Beast God Mountain range. In the beginning, Lu Ming tried his best to find out more about this place. He wanted to find out what his assessment was. However, as the days passed, Lu Ming seemed to have integrated into the tribe and almost forgot about the trial. Brother Lu, get up. This bottle of wine is for you. I brewed it with 18 kinds of herbs. It's very nourishing for your body. It'll help you recover. A white-haired old man with a bottle of wine came to Lu Ming and said with a smile. Thank you, Uncle Li. Lu Ming took it and thanked him with a smile. Ha, you're welcome. You should recover soon. The old man laughed and left the place. Then, the people of the tribe brought Lu Ming the meat of fierce beasts to Lu Ming to nourish his body. The people of the tribe were very simple. This kind of thing happened quite often. Lu Ming gradually integrated into the tribe. In the blink of an eye, another half a month had passed. Lu Ming's injuries were about 70 to 80% better. At this time, a trace of Saint Force finally appeared in his body. Lu Ming was overjoyed. With his Saint Force recovered, he would be able to protect himself and go further to find out what the trial was about. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed in the tribe for 2 months. Now, his injuries had fully recovered. However, what surprised Lu Ming was that his cultivation had not fully recovered. He was now in the same state as when he was fighting in the fighting ring. His cultivation and the power of law were all sealed. He could only use the coiling dragon spear now. The strength of his Saint Force was still at the lesser bright Saint Realm. It's been 2 months. What is the trial this time? Lu Ming frowned and could not figure it out. Don't. Suddenly, a deafening roar sounded in the tribe. It was the sound of war drums. The devil is here. The devil is here. Prepare to meet the enemy. A loud roar reverberated throughout the tribe. The devil is here. Xiaohua's little face was a little pale. What is a devil? Lu Ming asked. Devil, three-eyed devil. I've heard that these devils have been wreaking havoc in other territories. I didn't expect them to come here. Xiaohua's little face was pale, but she still gritted her teeth and rushed out with a big bow. Lu Ming also rushed out. As soon as they rushed out, Lu Ming saw tall and burly figures in the sky. These figures were covered in black scales and had an eye between their eyebrows. Three-eyed God tribe. Lu Ming was shocked. This was clearly the three-eyed God tribe. Lu Ming had seen them several times. Kill these ants. Chapter 1778. Kill. Thunderous roars were heard as the three-eyed divine tribe members descended from the sky and launched their terrifying attacks at the tribe. Block it. Some of the experts in the tribe held their bows and shot out terrifying arrows to block the attacks. You're courting death. A cold voice was heard as a burly three-eyed divine tribe member stretched out his hand and made a grabbing motion. A giant hand was formed and grabbed at the tribe. Block it. The strongest force in the tribe was the hunting team. They stomped on the ground and soared into the sky. All kinds of weapons were used to slash at the giant hand. Oh no! Lu Ming was shocked. The three-eyed divine tribe member who had stretched out his giant hand had reached the Great Sage Realm. The strongest expert in the tribe was equivalent to a Great Sage Realm expert. It was impossible for them to block the attack. Sure enough, when the experts attacked the giant hand, their bodies shook violently and they spat out blood. They were blasted to the ground. Boom! The gigantic hand continued to descend, grabbing a few experts from the tribe. With a squeeze, those experts were crushed to death. Retreat! Retreat! An expert in the tribe shouted. The other party was too strong. With the strength of the tribe, they were no match for them. If they continued to fight, they would be killed. None of you can escape. Surround them. The great sage three-eyed divine tribe member shouted coldly. Figures flashed in the sky, and more three-eyed divine tribe members appeared, surrounding the tribe. More people stepped out and rushed into the tribe. Their auras were strong. Some of them were at the Saint Realm, while many others were at the high-level Martial Royal Realm and the Half-Saint Realm. The three-eyed divine tribe members held battle axes and slashed out. The tribesmen were killed one by one. The smell of blood filled the air. Swoosh, swoosh. The three-eyed god race's third eye shot out terrifying beams of destructive light. None of the tribesmen could block them. One by one, the tribesmen were pierced through and killed. The simple and peaceful tribe instantly turned into a hell on earth. My cultivation, my battle prowess. Lu Ming's eyes were about to burst. The saint energy in his body was frantically circulating. However, he could only unleash the strength of a luminous saint. He condensed a long spear and threw it out, killing a few third-stage three-eyed god tribe members. However, there were too many three-eyed divine race members, so it was useless. The tribe fell into a chaotic battle. Xia, who seemed to have really turned into a ferocious tiger. With a saber in hand, the saber was like a rainbow as it cut down two three-eyed saints in a row. You're courting death. The great sage three-eyed god race member stared at Xiaohu and punched him, sending him flying. At the same time, a destructive beam of light shot out from between his eyebrows and blew off one of Xiaohu's arms. Father! Xiaohua shouted anxiously. Kill! Xiaohu wielded his saber with only one arm and charged toward his opponent. However, the light of destruction continued to burst forth from his opponent's eyes. The difference in strength between the two sides was too great. Xiaohu fought back with all his might, blocking the two beams of destruction light. But in the end, his saber shattered, and his body was torn apart by the destruction light. He died on the spot. Father! Xiaohua cried out miserably. Damn it! Lu Ming roared in his heart. Xiaohu had brought him back from the Beast God Mountain and helped him heal his injuries. He was a very simple person. In the past 2 months, Lu Ming had already treated Xiahu as a friend and family member. But now, Xiahu had died in front of Lu Ming. "Mother, don't!" Xiahua shouted again. At this time, Xiahua's mother held a sharp saber and pounced toward the three-eyed divine race member. However, in the next moment, a destructive beam swept over and killed Xiahua's mother. "Mother!" Xiahua shouted. Her eyes were bloodshot. She threw away the longbow, pulled out the long sword on her back, and rushed over. "Xiahua, don't go!" Lu Ming shouted and chased after Xiahua. "Die, ant!" A bright saint three-eyed divine race member appeared in front of Xiahua and slashed at her with his axe. Lu Ming was shocked. He rushed in front of Xiahua like lightning and swept out his spear, colliding with the other party's battle axe. With a loud explosion, Lu Ming's body trembled and he retreated. And the other party was also repelled by Lu Ming. "I can't use any means, not even the laws. I can't use much battle strength at all." Lu Ming was burning with anxiety. "Kid, die!" The three-eyed divine race member charged toward Lu Ming again. Lu Ming held his spear and fought with the other party. At this time, Xiahua rushed forward again. "Xiahua, don't die for nothing." Lu Ming forced the other party back with his spear and pulled Xiahua back. "Big brother Lu, leave quickly. My parents are gone. What's the point of me living in this world?" Xiahua said miserably. "Live on and take revenge for them." Lu Ming shouted, causing Xiahua's body to tremble. "Revenge? Dream on, all of you die." A total of 2 three-eyed divine race members charged toward Lu Ming. They were both bright sage realm cultivators, and one of them was even a great success bright sage. The light of destruction was constantly shot toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming held his spear and tried his best to resist. But Lu Ming's current strength was really limited. In a few moves, he was forced to retreat again and again, spitting out a mouthful of blood. At this time, the entire tribe was completely immersed in blood and fire. Lu Ming saw familiar people in the tribe being killed by the three-eyed divine race members. Some of them didn't even have a corpse left. Lu Ming saw Uncle Li, who often delivered medicinal wine to him, being cleaved in half by a three-eyed divine race member with an axe. Lu Ming saw the simple uncle who often delivered beast meat to Lu Ming was beheaded by a three-eyed divine race member. These three-eyed divine race members were really devils. Lu Ming felt that the blood in his body was boiling, as if it was going to turn into a flame and burn fiercely. An extremely cold murderous intent erupted from Lu Ming's body. "Die, kid!" The 2 three-eyed divine race members charged toward Lu Ming again. Lu Ming stood in front of Xiahua to protect her, not retreating at all. But there were too many three-eyed divine race members. Behind them, more three-eyed divine race members charged toward them. "Big brother Lu, if you can leave, then leave quickly. Don't worry about me." Xiahua shouted as a few drops of tears fell from her eyes. She turned around and pounced toward a three-eyed divine race member with a battle sword in her hand. "Don't!" Lu Ming wanted to shout, but he realized that his throat seemed to be stuck. He couldn't roar out no matter how hard he tried. Snowflakes flew in all directions. A teenage girl was like a tender flower that withered just like that. Lu Ming let out a beast-like roar from his throat. His eyes were blood-red and a terrifying murderous intent was emitted from his body. At this time, the entire tribe was almost wiped out. There weren't many people left. Kill them all, don't leave a single one alive." Someone shouted as if he was really slaughtering some ants. Boom! You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.